when you say retired life, most of us would probably think of a situation where you're relaxed, not doing much, put your feet up and maybe spend time with family. Not if you're Abhinav Bindra, who is a retired man now, but is in the thick of things as far as sports is concerned. We are in this state-of-the-art high performance center, and he is the brain behind it. Congratulations on the facility. Before I get to the facility, first up, do you feel like you're a retired man?
I'm a retired athlete, but that doesn't make me retired from life.
What's retired life like?
No, I'm retired as a professional athlete, but now I have to work to earn a living, and I work, and it's a different life, it's a different phase of life, so you never retire.
Right.
Unless you won a lotto and you have nothing, you have no requirement. But,
okay. A professional athlete, like you said, do you miss being a professional athlete?
No, I think I came to terms with it quite well. I had a plan for post my athletic career, and I'm very, very busy. So if you keep yourself busy, then you don't really you tire yourself out enough the whole day, so you have a good night's rest and sleep.
Not missing the shooting range?
No, not at all. It's just a new phase of life which I've embraced.
Yeah.
So I don't miss it.
Okay. But did you pick up the rifle after the 8th of August, which was the day of your final?
I've never been back to the range. I've just been back once with my little nephew, but I've never shot again.
Okay.
And I don't have any intention.
Okay. All right. Okay. Tell us, what's the thought behind a facility like this? And in very simple terms, what do you do here?
Well, the idea is to set up micro high performance centers in India. I think that's the only way our athletes can have access to different technologies which will really help athletic performance and have a far more reach.
Yeah.
If we create these big huge high performance centers, I think it'll be very limited to a few. So the idea is to bring the latest and the most cutting edge technology that exists in the world and make it available to athletes across India. The idea is to set up these little micro performance centers where athletes do only one-on-one work.
Yeah.
So it's very exclusive, so they get that quality of training and that quality attention that an elite athlete demands. And I think that would help. I think in the area of sports science, sports medicine, we're at -30 in India. So, and all this technology, in my point of view,
and because
is revolutionary in the world. So it's not just new to India, but it's new to the world.
And because we've not had this kind of technology here, is why you've had to travel to different countries to, make this available.
If I had
to
access to all of this
a
few years ago, I'm sure I would have ended up with more than one Olympic medal.
Okay. There's a part of this technology, multiple systems here which is available in portable form, which you carried to Rio with yourself. How did it help you?
Well, the portable form was specially built for me.
Yeah.
Because I got in touch with these people, and they were very, very open and kind to me, and they created something only specifically for me, which was a portable device which I carried to improve my static and dynamic balance, because shooting is all about balance and staying still. So I trained on it every day. I carried it to Rio every morning. I would wake up and do a little bit training on it to wake up my sense of balance, and then I'd train on it again in the evening. So it really helped me, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I really believe in the technology and the science behind it. If I didn't believe in the science or the technology behind it, I wouldn't have done it.
Okay. Since you mentioned Rio, you've mentioned that it's been the Olympics out of the 5 that you've participated in, which you enjoyed the most. And like you say, you're retired as an athlete, you don't miss your rifle or being in the shooting range. After that final finished, when you shot really well and finished 4th, maybe at a quiet moment, or maybe when you were traveling back to India, did you feel bad that you missed out on that bronze medal that close?
Yeah, of course. It was not just bronze. If I had a tenth of a point more after 16 shots, I could have gone further, because at the elimination stage of bronze on 16th shot, I was only 0.4 away from gold.
Yeah.
So it's not just it was not just missing a bronze medal, but just to put things into perspective. Of course, I felt bad. I'm a human being, and I went out there to win. And I didn't. And of course I felt bad, but you have to accept it, and you have to accept reality. I have no regret, because I did my absolute best. I prepared to the best of my capability, but with my best preparation of any of the Olympic Games that I competed in. and that makes me immensely proud and gives me internal satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have done anything more to prepare for that particular day.
Okay.
Sport cannot be scripted. There are so many variables, specifically in the sport of shooting. If you do your 100% and if you do your absolute best, 9 out of 10 times your best is not going to be enough to win.
Right.
That's the sport of shooting.
Okay. You sound like you've had your closure as far as the
Yes.
sport is concerned. You came back though and you were part of the Shooting Federation's committee which was looking into our performance, where we got so used to getting Olympic medals from shooting, but this time we didn't. Lots of significant points made in that report, some of which are pretty straightforward. Let's say Gagan's injury, which you talk about, or suggesting someone like Ahina Sidhu could perhaps do better if she changed her event. It had to be this straightforward.
Well, I wasn't part of that report.
Okay.
So let me make it very, very clear that the athlete review, I recused myself from that part of the process. So
Okay.
You must question the other committee members on that process and why they came up to those conclusions, because I was interviewed myself.
Correct, you were. But of course, you, like you said, you were part of the committee, and there were a lot of important points. There was a mention of retaining the sanctity of a national camp. Now, a lot of the shooters, you and a lot of the seniors, youngsters, a lot of you guys train abroad. So how does that put things into perspective, coming back now to a national camp and maybe not being able to or allowed to train the way you were abroad with the kind of person? Does that work?
If you provide quality, if you make the national camps great in quality, which look at a holistic way of preparation, why would anybody not want to attend a national camp?
So that's seriously lacking.
Of course, if the national camps brings nothing to the table for the elite athlete, and if it's a waste of time for the elite athlete, of course the athlete does not want to go there.
What is the basic thing that we're lacking in, you think? The biggest problem that ails Indian sport today?
Lack of a grassroots program. There's obviously a complete lack of a grassroots program, and we need to invest in our grassroots. It's a long process.
Of course.
It requires persistence, because if you start investing in the grassroots,
Yeah.
you will not get results tomorrow. You will have to hope and wait for results maybe 12 years down the road. But until and unless you make that investment, our systems, whatever money you want to spend, you are not going to exceed 2, 3, 4 medals at the Olympic Games. In London, we ended up with 6. We had luck on our side. A couple of medals were lucky. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Let's be truthful.
Yeah.
In Rio, few people came close.
Yeah.
On another day, it could have easily been 4 to 5. But the point that I'm trying to make is, in our current systems, we are not. I don't think we can get above that.
Grassroots is one thing. Do you think we need a systems overhaul as far as associations are concerned?
Of course, that's it's a given. I mean, we are talking about Olympic performance and Olympic medals. Look at what the West does. Look at what strong countries, to what extent and what efficiency they're working. It's not just an athlete preparing, it's the whole team behind the athlete which needs to work like a machine.
Yeah.
And until that happens, your expectations are unrealistic. So you have to put those systems in place.
But there are things like, let's say, the Prime Minister setting up a task force for the next 3 Olympic Games. There's the Niti Aayog, which has its small, middle and long-term plans.
There's something to have something on paper, but let's implement it. I mean, my slogan has always been, as it says on the wall, it's not every 4 years, it's every day.
Yeah.
And the Rio Olympics has gotten over mid-August.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Rio. It's time for Tokyo. So one needs to get going on that.
Yeah.
We cannot waste time, even one day we cannot waste. We need that, that efficiency that suddenly comes into our system 1 month before an Olympic Games. We need to sustain that throughout the whole Olympic cycle.
Okay, and finally, you said, of course, there's a lot you're doing. You have to earn a living, you have to put food on a plate, you're a busy man. From the 8th of August, which is when you competed last, it's been about 2 months and a half. Is there anything you've done which is non-sports and non-work related? Have you relaxed at all?
Well, relaxed for 22 years. I'm now facing real life.
Shooting was relaxation.
Facing real life now.
Okay.
I got back from Rio, and 2 days later I started a new life.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it. It's something that I'm building from scratch.
Yeah.
So that gives me a lot of satisfaction at the end of the day. In each and little, even one positive little step that is taken, I appreciate that, because it is something that I'm starting from scratch. I have to set a process in place, and I've always been very process driven, so it fits my whole scenario well.
Well, even if we've got a few people around like you, I think we can look at improving situations, though nothing can happen overnight. But thank you very much, and all the very best.
Thank
for
you
your
so
new
much for
venture.
coming.
Thank you.